Let's start with a scenario, maybe a bit of a nightmare one. You absolutely crush a project. I mean, you save the whole team. Everyone's just blown away by your brilliance, and then silence.
Right.
Or worse. You get sidelined. You thought, promotion, but instead you get punished. Why? Why does outstanding success sometimes backfire so badly?
Well, it often happens because you didn't just solve a problem. You probably inadvertently stepped on a hidden wire, a really core ancient principle of social hierarchy.
Ah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into managing that success, specifically the idea often framed as never outshine the master. And look, this isn't really about morality. It's more like an operating manual for navigating power dynamics.
Right, an operating manual. So the mission here is pretty clear then. Stop getting, punished for being good at your job. We need to understand why being capable isn't always seen as a neutral thing and figure out the strategic playbook. How do you manage the optics of success?
Exactly. Optics. Let's take a concrete example. Think about Ria, this star analyst working in Bengaluru.
Yeah.
She managed to crack this really complex, critical financial model. Her manager, let's call him Prakash, he'd been stuck on it for weeks.
Okay, so she saved the day.
She did. She delivered the solution. The clients were absolutely thrilled. But here's the crucial part. They publicly praised Ria.
Yeah.
They actually said something like, wow, Ria should be leading this whole thing.
Oof. I can see where this is going.
Yeah. And Prakash. He took action all right, but not the kind Ria hoped for. She found herself sidelined pretty quickly. Projects got reassigned. The feedback she received suddenly became really, really nitpicky.
So she wasn't incompetent. Not at all. She was just too bright, maybe, too visible in the wrong context with the wrong audience. It's still so hard to wrap your head around, though. Being penalized for your absolute best work.
It is, but what's fascinating, or maybe predictable, is that hierarchy often runs more on ego and feelings than on, say, org charts and logic.
Right.
When you outshine a superior, especially publicly, it can trigger this almost biological threat response. It's like a little panic button goes off in their head.
A threat response? Like what?
They're instantly thinking, wait, am I replaceable? Does this make me look useless? Does everyone see this? Your brilliance, your sunshine, as the source material puts it, can suddenly become someone else's storm.
Okay, that makes a disturbing amount of sense. So if that's the dynamic, how do we navigate? I mean, you still have to perform, right? You can't just stop being good.
No, absolutely not. The goal isn't to dim your own light. It's more about directing it strategically.
Directing the light. What's the first practical step?
You have to map the superior. Really understand that. What are Prakash's specific insecurities, his pressures? Is he worried about rival managers? Is he stressed about missed targets? Is his big fear just becoming irrelevant?
Okay, so you tailor your contribution.
Precisely. You design your contribution to facilitate their specific targeted win. If, say, they desperately want to be seen as a visionary leader, then you make sure your brilliant idea somehow looks like it grew from their initial seed, or at least has their fingerprints clearly on it.
Okay, mapping the superior, making it about their win. But what about the moment itself, the delivery? How do you actually present your work, your success, without it seeming like you're grabbing the spotlight? I mean, that feels like walking a tightrope, giving them authorship without giving away all the credit.
Yeah, that's where managing the optics, especially through pre-briefing, becomes absolutely critical. Rule 1, never, ever surprise your superior with a mic drop moment in a public setting.
No public surprises, got it.
Share the solution, the win, with them first, privately. Maybe even invite their input. Ask if they see ways to refine it. This gives them a chance to absorb it, own it a bit.
And then in the public setting?
Then you use what you might call scaffolding language. Frame your contribution in a way that reinforces their position.
Scaffolding language? Like
Yeah.
what? Give me an example.
Simple things. Building on what Prakash laid out last week, or as Sir highlighted in the strategy review, this approach seems to work. It's not about shrinking yourself. It's about visibly respecting and reinforcing the existing structure.
Ah, I see. It's like credit allocation 101, isn't it? I'm thinking of that cricket analogy you mentioned earlier. The rookie batter hits a century, an amazing solo performance, but in the press conference, he credits the captain's brilliant field placements or strategic advice.
Exactly. He transforms his solo triumph into a team symphony. He's still the star, undeniably, but he makes the captain look like a genius, like a kingmaker.
So he becomes the star who makes the captain look good. That's a powerful combination.
It's arguably the most powerful combination in these situations. clear competence plus low perceived threat. And look, this doesn't mean you don't track your achievements. Keep a private brag sheet, the facts, the data for your performance reviews for those quiet, formal conversations.
Okay, so private tracking, public sharing.
But in the day-to-day, in those public forums, you generally want to over-allocate credit upwards and maybe even laterally to key peers.
Okay, that makes sense for sharing success. But what about disagreement? Sometimes you genuinely think the boss is heading in the wrong direction. You can't just nod along if it's a disaster waiting to happen. How do you push back without triggering that same threat response?
That requires even more finesse. The key is still preserving their face, especially in public. You can't corner them or make them look foolish in front of others.
So no, actually you're wrong about that in the big meeting.
Definitely not. Instead, you frame it as exploration, maybe use questions. Try something like, that's an interesting direction. Would it maybe be useful to explore a third option as well? Perhaps one that mitigates X risk? Or could we briefly model out the potential impact of Y factor?
So you're opening a door for them, not shutting theirs down.
Precisely. You're providing an out, a way for them to adjust course gracefully, maybe even take credit for considering the alternative. You let them deliver the final strategic stroke, even if you gently guided their hand towards it.
This sounds like a long game. It feels like playing small, almost.
Well, it's strategic positioning. And you're right, it is a long game. You're not meant to play small forever. Think of it in stages.
Stages.
Stage 1, learn the room, understand the dynamics, protect the egos around you, especially above you, build and compound trust, make yourself valuable but non-threatening.
Right, build that foundation.
Stage 2, start widening your influence, often laterally first. Build alliances. Find sponsors, people who will vouch for you. Your reputation starts to grow beyond just your immediate boss.
Okay, expand the network.
In stage 3, when you have that base of trust, that network, and your own undeniable mastery, then you can start stepping more fully into the light. You build your own platform, but you do it when your success can actually withstand the envy it will inevitably attract.
So it's about earning the right and the resilience to shine fully. It reminds me of something I heard, that the truly powerful people aren't the ones who make themselves feel powerful, but the ones who make others feel powerful in their presence. There's a generosity to it eventually.
That's a very insightful way to put it. It shifts from defense to enabling others. So let's make this really practical. What about tomorrow morning? You walk into the team huddle.
Okay, what's the play?
Try this specific strategy. Offer one crisp, valuable insight related to the work. Then consciously give 2 specific credits, ideally one upwards to your superior, maybe one laterally to a colleague. Then ask one smart, clarifying question that shows engagement. And finally, try to shift the spotlight back to your superior for the close or the final word.
1 insight, 2 credits, 1 question, shift the spotlight. That's very concrete.
It's a micro practice of the principle.
It really brings it home. The timing, the framing of your brilliance matters just as much as the brilliance itself. Maybe you didn't lose that promotion or get sidelined because you were weak or incompetent. Maybe you lost because, in that moment, you looked like a replacement, not a supporter.
It's a hard lesson, but a crucial one for navigating careers.
So the final thought is, don't dim your light. Just learn how to aim it. Aim it strategically, and maybe, just maybe, the masters won't feel overshadowed, they'll feel illuminated, and they might even help build a taller stage for you.